Let me know.
You're live.
All right. It is the December meeting, the December 15th meeting of the Oconee Rivers Greenway Commission. And this will be my last meeting as a member of the commission. Since I've been here 10 years, I've worn myself out. So I'll be on the sidelines watching with Madeline in the future. So we're called to order. And Alex, do we have any public comments? Nothing submitted?
Nothing submitted.
All right. Moving on to the minutes from our last meeting. Any comments on the minutes that Diane prepared? And we certainly appreciate it. No comments? Do I have a motion to adopt the minutes?
I so move.
Okay. Let's see. That was Karen, and who seconded?
Mac.
Mac. Thank you, Mac. Okay. Then we'll move on. The chair report. The M&C approved our 2 new members starting next month. And Charlie, you're here, aren't you? Let's see, Charlie Barrow may be muted, but he'll be joining us.
I'm here joining, if that's all right.
Yes, that's great. That's great.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
we probably should vote on the minutes.
Oh, thank you.
I mean,
Getting ahead of myself in my old age. So we have a second on the minutes. All in favor, please say aye.
aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Right.
Aye.
Thank you. And let's see. So Charlie and Carly Evans will be joining us next month as members of this commission. The mayor and commission approved the easement agreement for the North Oconee River Trail going through the Oconee Hill Cemetery last week. I didn't realize that was on the agenda until the last minute, so we grabbed a letter of support that we had written 2 years ago and redid it, yeah, to make it up to date.
20 years.
Yeah, that's a long time coming.
Yep.
And it's going to get underway soon, I hope. Let's see. So anyway, we provided a quick letter of support just to make sure that we were at the party.
Nat?
Yes.
There may be some of our newer members, because this has been dragging on for so long, that haven't seen the architectural drawings of what that's going to look like. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. It is really going to be lovely. Maybe I don't know if you or Ross could get a hold of those drawings and send them out to the group again.
We'll do that.
Alex could probably do that.
Yeah.
Could you do that, Alex?
Yeah, we can get something out. They might be if you wait a little bit, we can give you some more current ones. So
I think, Alec, you're referring to the Jeff Koons company's sketches, right, of the bridge?
Yes. Yeah. Are those still the current plans, or?
And it's Josh, by the way. His name's Josh Coons.
I'm sorry, Josh Koons. Thank you.
From the I'm on the T-SPLOST oversight committee, and we met last night on that subject. So, there were a dozen who were doing, advance around our kitchen table. And I think we're going to put a shovel in the ground in January to start ASAP.
Good deal. That's great news.
are those Josh Coon's plans that we all saw a couple years ago still the current plan?
I don't know who can answer
happy,
that.
I'm happy that Mel's here because I wasn't here a couple years ago. Are those still I don't know if old versus new is the same.
And it's my understanding that's basically still the same concept that we're doing. I mean, those were concept plans. We're going to have to develop construction plans, but it's very much the same concept.
Okay, great. I thought they looked terrific.
Good deal. All right. Let's see. There's a couple of things I want to get into the notes here. One is that the MLK Day of Service is coming up, and that's something that we have contributed regularly to for $500 to support that effort. And I think, excuse me, just a second. I've got a microphone plugged in here that I think is causing some of this feedback. Take that out. Yeah, so that's something, again, that we have supported as a sponsor at $500. If there's no objection, we'll go ahead and get with Keep Athens Beautiful for that.
Okay.
If there are no objections, then we'll continue. We got a request, speaking of donations, we got a request from Tom Keene with the Firefly Trail, Inc. And Tom usually comes to our meetings, but hasn't been able to be here lately. But he was asking if we were interested in making a donation to the Firefly Trail, Inc. I got back in touch with him, and what I told him is that, we really don't give just blanket general donations to nonprofits. But what we do is sponsor things like MLK Day, like Ticket to Ride, which we sponsored every year with the Firefly Trail. And so projects, events, sort of things that can be pointed to are the kinds of things that we provide funding for like on occasion. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. One other thing that's happened recently is Historic Athens has come out with their structures in peril, and one of them is the brick pump house right on the Greenway. And Alec, you want to talk about that a bit, about the kinds of discussions that have been going on in the PUD and leisure services? Alex, are you there? Alex Bond? You may be muted.
He may have disconnected. I'm not seeing his video feed anymore.
Oh, okay. Daniel, do you know anything about that?
Only a little bit. Mel, do you know more? Have you been involved in that at all?
Yeah, Alex disconnected a minute. I don't want to step on his toes or anything, but I can give you just kind of an overview. We are looking at the building and looking at what are some possibilities that we could do with it. If there's anything, there's a little bit of money associated with the project we could have possibly. But Todd, you guys, most of y'all know Todd, is doing some investigation, meeting with some different architects and engineers about kind of what state the building's in and just kind of getting a complete picture of what's out there, and then what sort of different types of efforts could be made for interpretation, conservation of the structure, that sort of thing. So we're exploring it and kind of seeing what the options are and developing a menu of, here's kind of the Yugo of what we could do, and here's the Cadillac of what we could do. But, there's costs associated with it, of course, and that includes not just the cost of whatever we're doing to the structure, but operational costs. So we're in an exploratory phase right now, just kind of seeing where we are before we go any further. So stay tuned, because we should have more information coming out soon as we get further down the road with evaluations.
Sounds good. Is everybody familiar with that structure we're talking about? Along the Greenway, just right there where Sandy Creek bridge is, Sand Creek Nature Center. Okay. Let's see. By our bylaws, we have each year at this month, we have an election of officers again. And the executive committee has put together this list of nominees. It's in the agenda. And we'd also be open to any other nominations if there's anyone else that's interested in one of the positions or thinks someone else should be. Yes, do we have a comment? Any comment on this nomination? If there are no comments, then I'd like to move that we adopt the slate of officers. That's Ross Hinkle as chair, Jake Moss as as vice chair, Len Abduni, excuse me, as treasurer, and Diane Wyndham as secretary. Would someone second that nomination?
Second.
Thank you, Karen. Any other comments? If that's the case, then everyone please indicate your support by raising your hand and saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
And we'll, good, thank you. We get some thumbs up too. Any opposed? If that,
Susie's frozen. He's not opposed.
Susie's opposing? Oh,
He's frozen.
oh, Susie, I think we froze you out.
Oh, you did? No, I'm still alive. No, I'm.
Okay, great. Then I take it that we've passed that nomination, and we'll be turning this over next month to Ross and to Lynn and to the steady state of the other folks who've been involved. We really appreciate both Ross and Lynn stepping forward. Ross is new to this area in the past couple of years, but he's had a lot of success in Florida, and we want to tap some of that. And Jake will be working with Ross, and I'll help out too in getting oriented. And the same with Lynn in her position as treasurer.
I appreciate the opportunity myself, and I am new, so there's going to be a lot of questions and need a lot of help. And look forward to working with the group.
Any other comments? Thank you. It's a good group to work with. I can vouch for that.
I've gotten that impression that it's a good group to work with.
All right, if there are no other comments, we'll move along. Let's see. Treasurer's report. We don't have Derek here. Nope, he's not here with us, but we've got on the order of $11,000, I believe, currently. We have a milestone coming up on January 6th. We have to submit our budget requests, and I'll be working with the executive committee to prepare those forms. The past 3 years, we've gotten $16,500. Last year, we requested $19,000, but it came back at 16, was approved. And I suggest we go for 16.5 again this year as our sort of standard. But like I say, I'll be working with the executive committee to get those forms in. But anybody have a comment about our budget? Okay, if that's not the case,
I have a question. Jerry
Yes.
Neesmith used to be our champion on this. Do we have know who our representative on the mayor and commission is?
We have several people that are supportive of us, including Tim Denson, spoke very highly of our group. And, I think we really benefited from Jerry. At the same time, I think we have a lot of support on the county commission.
I believe that other organizations actually have a commissioner as their representative, and I think it would be really valuable to us to have someone who at least some of the time comes to our meetings and gives us insight into what the mayor and commissioner are thinking. I don't know how to go about getting someone, but ask Kelly. We'll probably get someone to do it unless we have somebody we prefer. I don't know who that might be.
Jake,
I was just going to mention that, of course, Carol Myers, who is this is her last month as chair of the Athens in Motion Commission, and she's rotating onto the commission in the Mayor and Commission in January, and of course she'll be advocating for Athens in Motion, and the Greenway Commission is also falls under that general sort of umbrella. I don't know how much she wants to have on her plate in terms of advocacy or coming to our meetings, but we can certainly talk about it with her. We could also consider, someone who's another commissioner. Maybe it's something we can talk about over time.
I think that'd be good for the communication and outreach. Take that on.
Yeah.
Another speaker?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. I'm
yes,
sorry.
You can hear me?
Who is
Carol Myers. This is Carol Myers.
She is.
Hey, Carol.
I'm on audio while I walk
Incognito.
along the river. Yeah. Well, my new phone is getting me on here. I will be. I'm listening in, and I assume I'll continue listening in. I am keeping an eye, just as Jake said, I'll be sort of keeping an eye on Athens in Motion and the Greenway and the Firefly, and hope to, stay abreast and on top of what's going on those issues. And I'm not quite sure how everything goes. We don't have a commissioner on Athens in Motion, although we'll have me de facto, I guess, on there in a sense. But that's something I will talk to Kelly about.
Good deal. That sounds good. Like I say, they're pretty receptive, and we've gone before them or presented anything. It's been a very supportive group. And Carol, it's great that you're there now.
Let me say that I wholeheartedly support Carol representing us on the commission.
Okay. Thank you, Alex.
She's perfect. She's perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, I'm going to put the mute back on here, but I just thought I'd pipe up while I heard my name come up there. Okay?
Well, thank you, Carol. That's great. Well, let's see. So again, we have to have our budget request in by January 6th, and we'll do that. I'll work with, in particular, with Ross and with Lynn in preparing those documents. Committee reports, communications and outreach. Jake.
Okay. I have a long list of short topics and one long topic. So we are bowling ahead with our second Saturday volunteer days on the Greenway. We had our second Saturday sign cleaning event last Saturday. And we cleaned all the signs in Dudley Park. And to be honest, my arm is still sore because those signs that are oriented horizontally are just get filthy, and you're literally scouring with all of the strength in your body. But we got them pretty clean. Managed to take a few before and afters, which I still need to post. We had, I think, a total of 6 people, which is, we're restricted to 10 because of COVID anyway, and really that's a perfectly fine group to clean all the signs on a stretch of Greenway. And thanks to Morgan Mathis, who does a great job. For the parks people who are on, I approve of Morgan. And that's the Mel, I guess. And thanks to Diane for coming out and cleaning signs with us. So we had a good group. And so we're not going to have a second Saturday in January because the third Monday in January is MLK Day, which is my next topic. So we are signed up to do a MLK Day event. It's going to be invasive removal in Dudley Park. And we've been authorized by Mike Wharton to have up to two groups of up to 10 people who will stay separate, and all that stuff. And I apparently have enough credibility as an invasive remover to supervise one of the groups, so that's what's going to happen there. Bruno had asked, Bruno who's on, I think, had asked, so they're doing he can talk about this in his section, but just think about it while we're in between those two segments. So UON is doing a Carr Creek cleanup. And of course, Carr Creek is in the news these days because of the easement and the new Greenway Greenway segment that's going to be there. So he was asking if we could send somebody who had knowledge of sort of the layout of what that new segment would be to kind of be a representative for the Greenway there. And I can't do it because I'm going to be at the cleanup. So we need somebody else to be that person. So, by the time he comes around, I'm sure that we'll have somebody who's ready to volunteer. Lynn and I had a good meeting about our social media. Lynn is about, I'd say 43 times more knowledgeable about social media than I am. So we're going to slowly phase our social media over to Lynn being completely in charge of it and greatly expanding it and making it awesome. That's something that'll happen in communications committee, but you'll see the fruits of that in the amazing posts that she's going to create. Let's see, Carol's here to talk about Athens in Motion later, unless she loses reception by the river at some point. So the next thing I want to talk about is Nat is rolling off of the commission after 10 years, was it? Somebody was saying 14.
No, it's a little over 10.
Okay. So we want, as vice chair and chair of the Communications and Outreach Committee, it is my duty to inform you that we think you're great and did a wonderful job as chair of the Greenway Commission over the past, 4 years. And I wanted to both sort of reiterate, summarize, and this will be helpful for the new folks as well. Summarize the accomplishments that the Greenway Commission, together with our partners in ACC departments, including TPW and of course Leisure Services, and our other nonprofit partners like UON and Athens Land Trust, have made over the course of your tenure, because it's been a period of rapid growth of the Greenway trail system and growth of the Greenway as something that is taking over the hearts and minds of Athenians, including those in our government. So just to list some of those accomplishments. So we completed the construction and opening of over 3 additional miles of Greenway trail and connectors, including the Easley Mill segment, the Park and Ride connector, the bridge to UGA campus, which is, both functional and has a great symbolic value, and the new segment along MLK to try to give a full riverine experience. And we have the Oconee Hill Cemetery segment coming soon. The Oconee Street underpass and the bridge over Trail Creek is slated to happen. Probably not super soon, but it's something that is going to happen and fill in one of those gaps. The Carr Creek connector is now in the works as well, which is something that we would not, along with the cemetery, is something that we would not have anticipated just at the beginning of my tenure 4 years ago. We've also acquired been involved in the acquisition of Greenway adjacent green spaces, including Beach Haven, Tallahassee Forest, Rock and Shoals, the Matthews Motors track, and the Carr Creek easement. We did the Greenway Network Plan in 2016, and I came in right at the end of that, but I'm sure that Nat was heavily involved, as were many of you. A significant accomplishment that gives us a roadmap and something to share with the public what our vision for the future is. We have new funding for the Greenway and adjacent green space in SPLOST 2016 and T-SPLOST 2018. We have, and Matt has written letters in support of successful grant proposals, including the Young Conservation Stewards, both in Beach Haven and most recently Southeast-Clarke Park, the Dudley Park Gospel Grant, and last and least in funds, but not least in my heart, the Athens Bat Connection. We formed a 501c3, the Friends of the Greenway, which is going to get back rolling next month. After talking to folks individually about that, and we're ready to get going. And finally, I wanted to thank Nat for his countless hours attending mayor and commission meetings, and other meetings with other ACC units, tabling at the farmers market and other events, leading OLLI classes, giving presentations to community groups and ACC officials and others, and other, I'm sure, many other outreach and planning and strategic activities that I can't think of. So thank you, Nat. And there's going to be a plaque with your name on it coming. We're in the design process now. So it's something to look forward to. And I wanted to open the floor for anyone else. I know Madeline has some things to say. But we do want to get to sleep at a reasonable hour. So take it away, Madeline, and then anyone else who would like to say a few words, you're certainly welcome to. Madeline, you're muted.
I mean, obviously I have WebEx crashed your party today, but this was not one I was going to miss. And those of you, welcome. I actually have concluded my 20th year last year, where Nat and his bride and, the board at large served me cake. So we're having one flown in from Paris. Should be here by Christmas Day, Nat, not to worry.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Anyway, I know, Jay, you barely touch the surface because we know what kind of a cloakroom operator Nat is. So, it's hard to even imagine what happened behind even further scenes. But anyway, I don't know if you all are aware that the Greenway Commission Retirees Association has been meeting pretty regularly on the Friday after all of your monthlies. And we have established two new, obviously inaugural and hopefully permanent awards. And I wanted to, take this moment to congratulate Nat on the fact that he is the recipient of both of them.
Oh my gosh.
And the first one, and, if you could see this,
Yeah.
I've worn my matching earrings. We've established the From a Tiny Acorn Award, Nat. Basically, how's my time, Jake? two more minutes. Basically, I was with Mel, I believe. We were at Harris Science a million years ago, and we were doing one of those endless public comment, pony shows. Nat shows up, and he was interested, but he was quiet. He was attractive. He had some Walt Whitman about him. Mostly became interesting, so interesting that one of the things that, Mel and the gang were always wanting us to do was recruit future candidates for the commission. And so there were a number of years behind the scenes, Nat, where you served extraordinarily well as the vice chair with Ron Thomas. And there was just a remarkable synergy between the two of you. And then obviously, it goes without saying, your service as chair. So I congratulate you on your victory here as being the inaugural From a Tiny Acorn Award winner.
I can't wait.
Number 2, this is a little sea turtle.
What kind you find in the middle of Oconee River?
On a good day. And so this is the Sea Change Award. And it is designated for people who, over the course of their watch, have harnessed considerable expertise. You have always had the 30,000 feet perspective, as well as, just these remarkable boots on the ground. Usually a person is neither, but sometimes they're one of those things, but rarely are they both. And the thing that I really want to say is, and I don't know, Karen, if you're going to be sharing your plaque, but there's a capacity you have which will be engraved in brass, so I won't use that word. But you've got a differentiality about you that is very compelling, and it makes people wonder what else there is. Only that whole lot. You're inexhaustible, and when I saw the unanimous decision the association made, you are present. You make yourself available. That's been extraordinary. You're a letter writer. You're a peacemaker, and you're a sea changer. So, in summary, we salute you, Nat, and proudly add you to the pantheons of Greenway chairs emeritus. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I've benefited from wonderful people to work with. I think we've made a really good team, and I also benefited from timing. These projects have been languishing for so long. We're finally come to fruition, and I'll take credit for them. But actually, they go back a lot longer than before me. But I really appreciate the kind words, and it's been a wonderful experience for me. And I hope it's not over. I mean, I hope to, like you are, Madeline, stay involved as a civilian.
Yeah, not worry. You'll love this phase.
Well, let's see. So we still have more to go on this meeting, I'm afraid. What about Susie? Do you have anything to report on planning?
Well, actually, the planning group has done, with the masterful help of Daniel Sizemore and Alex Bond, who put together a storyboard. We've completed the input from the public on the network plan, and Daniel put that together so that they could see exactly which segment of the trails they were looking at, and the public was able to make a specific comment on a specific section. And that, but just want to comment on what an extraordinary project this has been, and Daniel has condensed that and put it into a format that can be presented to the mayor and commission, and that will be the update of the network plan. Salute both of these two guys for their extraordinary work and in getting this network plan up to date and finalized. And I'm going to let them tell you more about I'm not even going to attempt that. I want on the brick factory at Sandy Creek Nature Center was a fundraiser on Facebook. Put out a Facebook fundraiser request for a certain amount of money, which we did raise $5,000, and the board will match that another $5,000 to begin a survey and develop a plan for an interpretive center that will be there at the brickyard, at the brick factory. It's an interesting project with a lot of parts to it, and one of the oldest known factories in Athens. And so I think it's going to be an extraordinary project. And it relates to the Greenway by virtue of the fact that it sits just off the Greenway, and it is a cultural and historic site that when it's developed will add to the experience of the Greenway. So that's there to report. And now I'm going to let Daniel and Alex tell you a little more about the network plan update, the input, and what will be the next steps in presenting that to Mayor and Commission. So you guys want to take it over? Yes? No?
Yeah, we can go ahead and hit that real quick.
All right.
Daniel, there you are. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. Do you want to start it off, or you want me to kind of jump in?
Yeah, and we'll kind of keep it short because there's still plenty to cover tonight. But in essence, so just so everybody knows, February 8th is where we're going to be presenting to the Mayor and Commission. January, they want to keep kind of the January meeting kind of shorter, and so that's when this will actually make it forward. We had a great response, and what Daniel is showing you guys right now is our final. Daniel worked really hard and made this kind of final presentation, and he can go through more of it. But there's a couple snapshots at the end of response. You can see that there are 123 comments on all, and I think there were 42 individual trail segments that people commented on. And anyway, it was just it was an awesome response, and it took us a while to kind of put all those things in order. And anyway, Daniel blew me away when he showed this to me.
So, and I know the color is probably not intuitive, but this is just kind of a placeholder. There's a little bit more work to do, but we've got 123 comments from 45 different people. 91% of them were positive. 96.75 were residents, and funny little note, that extra like 4 counts, the 3.25%, were actually leisure services employees. So, we can count them all as Athens. Right here, you can kind of see the breakdown of where people lived. 68% lived in 30606. With shortly after that, we've got 26% living at 30601. And then, the priority thing was kind of a test that we were asking on the survey is, would you list this trail as high priority, medium, or low? And majority of them, 77%, were rated as high. And then we also wanted to know what type of recreational activities people participated in. So pedestrian exercise, people were able to click multiple options. And so across the board, pedestrian exercise was the most popular, with nature observing, commuting, and then mountain biking after that. And Ross, I think you got some background noise in your mic.
Really? No. Oh.
Okay, well, that might be you, Alex, then.
No, Ross was on, but he's muted now.
Okay. So this is a dashboard showing everything, and you can kind of see we've got a map of all the trails. We're still working on some details with this. I literally just got off a call with Esri trying to work through some of the things, but you know, you can click this explore button down here, maybe. All right, gonna shift Windows over to the dashboard. And so right here, you can actually click on Beach Haven Trail, and it shows you 88% of the comments were positive, with 11% being neutral. You know, all of them rated them as high priority, and then we've actually got a list of all of those comments over here. You can scroll through and read. Disregard this top right corner. That's one of the issues that we're working on. So, but of that, for Beach Haven Trail, which was our most commented on trail with 17 comments, we had pedestrian exercise, mountain biking, nature observing, commuting, and paddling. Those were all kind of the main user types for the people who commented on those. And you can read through it. Everyone loves the idea. After that, McNutt Creek Trail kind of hit 11, so that was the next most popular. This will be a link. All of you can explore and see the rest of these. The last thing is, after we looked through that public input, we made some changes. So this right here, you can see is kind of, that was, the purple was our Greenway network plan, the red were the removals, the black is all of the existing. And so what we did, we actually made some alterations based on that. So just gonna get rid of, so the areas that were purple and are now yellow, those are the changes we made based on public input. So I also received some calls, and you know, we got rid of a few things, this long area over here. Some of these spurs were redundant based on our changes, and just cleaning up some of the lines around the Ben Epps Airport. And then the developer for West Clocks contacted us, and they're actually building a Greenway connection, multi-use path within their network, and that also seemed like a better connection for us. So we removed the sewer line connection up here, and we put that in. So other than that, just some slight adjustments down here, you know, on the southern end. That were going along. So this was, the purple areas are along the sewer line easement, and those lines were really rough, and they kind of drew them through people's houses in some cases. So we were just making adjustments from there. And then there was also some little updates over here. So all in all, we had pretty good round. This is going to be put into a map and added on the end of that Greenway network plan story map. And this will hopefully be ready pretty soon, and I'll send a link out once it is ready, and you guys can start exploring some of those comments if you're interested.
So the yellow map, you might go back to that one more second. The yellow line map. So all the changes that we went through after public input, the planning committee stepped through with Daniel and got to, you know, approve the nudges, and we talked them all through. Public input also kind of brought forward 3 other plans and comments and parcels that were sent in to park planning, and they actually included the other plans, like the Epps Bridge area got added, had some added stuff on here because it was on something that a different department has already kind of looked at, the manager, mayor, and commission have already looked at. So anyway, those are the big changes. Oh, and out here with Davis, we just kind of wanted to connect that school with Davis Elementary School. So you guys can kind of see that there were a couple changes made. But again, the planning committee took a big look at this with us, and that the yellow line map that he just had up really is the 2020 Greenway Network Plan that will be voted on.
Yeah, you just reminded me. There were alterations, but we also added, and so right here I kind of flipped the symbology so you can see a little better. I'm trying to keep in mind that you guys probably have it pretty small on your screen, but the yellow areas were added on top of the purple, which was our pre-public input. So we've made a lot more connections here based on a lot of feedback. So.
Cool. Any questions from you guys about the Greenway Network Plan 2020?
Beautiful.
Cool. All right. With that, I guess we're going back to committee reports.
Well, I was curious, do you guys need to vote on recommending approval to mayor and commission, or?
Boy, I'd like to take a little more study of it, I think. I don't know, what do other people think? How did folks feel?
Well, I was prepared to bring it forward as a proposal from the planning committee, which would mean that, you know, we could go straight into a vote. But if you all want some more time, we can certainly delay that.
Well, let's see.
I want to make sure that we get to mayor and commission, though, in a timely manner.
Yeah, that's the 8th.
There is enough time for you guys to take some time with it and vote on it later.
Okay.
Let's see. When is the mayor and commission reviewing this?
So they have to it's going the night of the 8th, February 8th. But so you back that out about 3 weeks. So we've got some time.
February 8th.
February.
Oh, I had
and
January.
That's just because their January schedule is pretty full already.
We've got February 9th is the work session. And so I think I have on here that our agenda report needs to be submitted January 18th. So that's actually, I believe, the day before y'all's next meeting. But I don't know what that would mean for.
Well, and the agenda report, we can, that doesn't necessarily have to have the lines. So you guys can definitely have a minute to think about it if you don't want to push it forward right now, if you want to have some time to look at it.
Well, since I'm about to roll off the commission, so I'm probably the least sensitive one. How do other people feel?
Well, I think the last time, I think I heard someone say, maybe at the planning committee, Alex, that we would have paper copies of this to review.
So all we're making are 4 11 by 17 maps that are the final Greenway Network Plan. So it's the quadrant maps from the past. They'll be formatted to 11 by 17 because typically we print them 11 by 17 anyway. So those PDFs can be sent out to you guys for you to look at.
I would like to have a chance to look at the paper maps before we vote. So I'd like to have the vote be at our next meeting next month.
Okay.
I'm one of your old members that does better with paper than with computer screens.
Well, and I'm an old soul and have been asking for paper. And Daniel and I just kind of go, Daniel's all digital and I'm a paper person. So
work to do everything in paper.
Yeah, it is. It's also expensive.
Yeah.
So yes, that's fine. We can hold off, and I got plenty more staff updates to do though, so I don't want to hold up the meeting for this.
Yeah, just a question: if we wait till the next meeting to vote, does that give you plenty of time to meet the deadlines to get it to commission and prepare?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, we would probably be providing a letter of support.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments or questions on this topic? Let's see. Moving on to natural resources. Karen, do you have anything to add?
We had a fabulous field trip. I don't know if Alex has the photo from it, but beautiful weather. Was led by Walt Cook on some of his new ephemeral trails. And we also had Kathy Parker representing the Oconee River Land Trust. So it was a lovely success, and I figure that we had 7 people, and I think I'll do another one in January. Winter trips are the best. You can see a long way and no ticks, and so I'm happy to do a one in January.
All right. Any other comments? Moving along to leisure services. Alex, do you have anything more? You've given us a lot already. Alex?
Yeah, I'm stopping my video. Everything's kind of slowing down on my side, so I'm going to launch into my presentation. All right, so I confirm that you're seeing my screen.
That's
okay.
the photo.
So, yeah, here's Karen's photo from walking in the woods. So there you guys go. All right, so December update, Greenway Network plan already hit, Cars Creek, bridge over Trail Creek, Oconee Hills, Southeast Burton, North. Somebody's unmuted. I don't want to have to mute you guys, but if you don't mind muting when you're not talking. So again, here's our overall plan and all the projects that we have ongoing right now. So first off, Car Creek, this is still in a queue right now to get staked out. SPLOST office has engaged a surveyor to go out there and actually put some stakes on the ground to show us where the trail alignment currently is, which is, of course, before the big, larger swath than just the trail easement was available. So once that's staked, there can be a bigger conversation about moving around within that corridor a little more naturally, which will be nice. We've also got, this is another open project, Firefly Bridge, the Murmur Trestle replacement. Again, a single company, the lowest bidder was engaged, and conversations are moving forward about that one because all the bids were a lot higher with all the structural wood. And so anyway, there's things to figure out there, but that's still an open project. I don't really have a true update on that one. Oconee Hills Cemetery. So the interviews with the project management firm happened this week. Tomorrow we're having a discussion to figure out, this is like the steering committee, we're having a decision tomorrow as to which firm we'd like to ask Mayor and Commission to move with. So that's exciting. A lot of familiar companies, which is good. People that have worked on trails either here in Clarke County for us or for other people or just in the region. So it's really cool. Dudley Park. So the contractor called me today, in fact, and they're going to start putting up some silt fence. They're not going to break ground until January, but they're getting ready. This is part of that 24-month turnaround for the GHOST grant that SPLOST and leisure and sustainability are all working collaboratively on. And so soon you may start to see things happening there, which is really exciting. Again, that's what the restroom building will look like. And in fact, on that bottom left view is where the art will go. So kind of a nice, the art will be visible from that middle courtyard area. Burton, this is from yesterday, and it's pretty much the same today. The Ben Burton's bathroom is going in. We also have a little pavilion. It's going to be a little passive use pavilion going in, and it's down further in the woods. And it is, I'm trying to remember, this 30 by 30, I believe. So it's going about in the exact same place where a building used to be, or the old pavilion used to be. North Oconee River Park, we're staying very active at North Oconee River Park. Mel, and I'm glad she's here, Mel is spending a lot of time helping us out. She is, from a department level, going around working with our street outreach coordinators for Clarke County that work with Advantage and talking with people. And we're making some good progress there, I think. We're helping people. We are learning people's names. They are learning who we are. We're working together This is all trash that we're picking up that was either left or washed down, because a lot of times things do wash down into that park. But most times when we go in the park to pick up stuff that is not personal belongings that people have left there, it is usually a truckload full. So if you guys see us there, we are usually there twice a week, either letting people know that they've got a couple days to grab their stuff that they want to keep, or us actually going through and pulling it. It's our budget submission time of the year, so I ask you guys for a letter of support. I need to ask you guys for a letter of support for our SPLOST increase. So this is when a SPLOST project goes forward, there's always a operations estimate on the back end, that once the SPLOST project happens, we have to ask, dare say beg, for the operation dollars. And it was a big conversation when they were talking about the 2020 stuff the other day. I was happy to hear Manager Williams and Director Kilpatrick talk about how important it is to understand that these operations things have to happen. We could build 1 million miles of trail, but if nobody goes and empties out the trash cans, that's all people will write on Google review and Yelp review and all those things, so nobody wants to come use the trail. So we are putting in our number one priority this year for the department will be asking for operations dollars. That restroom and teaching pavilion at Dudley, they need people to take care of them, to clean them, to keep them safe. We're adding a lot of programming space. So this is all in line with what those projects, we consolidated projects, all the Greenway, the Firefly, Dudley Park's its own project, the East Bluffs project. So all that consolidated, you guys can see the disbursement here, starting with FY15 and kind of moving around the circle. So this year we are asking for a bigger chunk. You also noticed that in the past 2 years we've gotten 0%, so a little bit of that is compounded. But then we're also adding actual facilities now too, so this year was going to be a bigger ask anyway, the year that the Dudley Park restrooms opened. And then you can still see that 58% adding up all those estimated operations dollars has still not been asked for yet. And we will be asking for that even next year. So I guess Nat, if you want to squeeze that out in the next 2 weeks, that'd be cool. If not, Ross, I'll be coming and knocking on your door. And this is just another, and both of these charts are included with our submission, but it does show the green line is funding received on the left percentage-wise, just straight from that pie chart. And then the red bars show you the amount of trail that's been added, not facilities, just trail. So you guys can see that it's, we've doubled trail, especially without getting much operations the past 2 years. So here's my official ask for you guys. We have talked about it a couple times, and I would like to ask for formal support in the amount of $3,625 for those 2 fix-it stations. This is a photo of a fix-it station we have installed at Walker Park, just to remind everybody what they look like. They do include the pump. There's actually a new style of pump that we'll be buying. It's called the Prime pump. And Scott, they say it's better, so we'll see. I don't know if anybody else has got one yet. Just to understand the network-wide plan. So these, I'm so sorry. Is my mouse visible to y'all on this? Can somebody give me a head nod? Okay. So as far as installs, we do have the one here at Trail Creek Trail next to Walker Park. There's actually the one that was just in the photos and even on this map. It's actually off the trail up here. We do have one right at the Firefly Trail, right at the top of where the restroom building is going to go. Sandy Creek Incorporated is working to get one installed right here. It's close to Will Chamberlain's triangular display that's right there at the start of the trail. There's going to be one up there. This is one of the 2 that you all have shown support for, putting one in at the college parking lot so that people could park their car, deal with their bike before they get going, pump up the tire. This one right here is a shift because after talking with one of the local shops, the Hub, Brian was really interested in helping. And this is right at the 4-way intersection where you come down really treacherous hill. You can go onto campus, you can go left on the trail, you can go right, and eventually you'll go into the cemetery. So he was really interested in, because he goes by it every single day. He said he'd be using it. So they're really interested in that spot. So I'm interested in if you guys would purchase a second one and we could put it into Easley's Mill. And then once you put in the trail through the cemetery, that's a pretty evenly spaced system of fix-it stations for if your bike should fail. So what say you, ORGC?
So we have a proposal, and do we have a motion to provide $3,625 or thereabouts for a new fix-it station?
Motion to provide those two fix-it stations.
Okay. I'm sorry, who was the second?
Laura.
Laura, thank you. And let's see, so the 3,600 is that for one or two fix-it stations?
That is for two, and that includes the concrete.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions or comments about this before we vote on it? That being the case, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Then we'll assume that we've got everyone voting for it.
Awesome. Appreciate it, guys. We'll move on that, and I'll work with our Lynn, I guess. We'll wait until next year probably to be paying for this. So anyway, sounds great. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
I'll remind everybody, Legion Services Listens is the place to go if you want more update on some of our open projects. And I've got my own I got a couple. So thanks, Nat. Thanks for wonderful support from ORGC. Thanks for all you've done for this group, for us. I totally snagged some photos of you out and about. Here is opening up this wonderful stretch of trail. God bless his soul, Jerry Neesmith right there in the middle. Everybody's looking good. Everybody doesn't have a mask on. Do you remember those days, everyone?
Yeah, really.
We've also got it's another good one where opening the bridge, what was it? Joining the town and gown, as Madeline said a couple times. So this was a really symbolic one, and you were there for that. And then here we are again. You didn't make it to this one. I didn't either, but this is the MLK section also. So looking at, this is our trails and links, and look at these dates. And if you do the math for how long you've been influencing or running ORGC, we've been adding to it. We've been taking it. So that's a lot of feathers in your cap, and you're good in my book. So appreciate all you've done, and really thank you for all of it.
Well, thank you for the kind words. And, I don't know if I should take credit for all that stuff, but I'd love to claim it. So thank you.
All right. And that's it for me.
Okay. Let's see. We'll moving right along. Planning. Mark, are you still with us?
Mark's all the way gone now. And I think Melinda had her hand up.
I was going to say, well, it still leaves your services time, and this used to be my time back in the day.
I remember those days.
I know, I've missed you guys. I just want to take a quick moment to say thanks, and we're gonna miss you, Nat. And I know we had a lot of fun and interesting times back when we were all working together, and I think those marathon meetings we used to have on the old Greenway Network plan, where we were, I forget the insane amount of hours we spent together, but I think we all became like strange roommates because we were pretty much all like huddled in this room over this plan for endless hours. It was just insane, but it was so much fun because I got to know like everybody's quirks and how we all work together and all the projects. And it's really, this whole group's been a pleasure. And it's just when I was looking back at how much has been accomplished during your time as chair. I was just, it's really, it's amazing and wonderful, and so much good has happened for this community. And, it's just been, a result of some strong leadership and a wonderful crew of folks that, bringing this thing along. And I just, I'm so happy and with everything that has happened, and I'm sad to see you go. I'm excited to see the future. Just sitting in on this meeting and hearing some of the things now, because I've been a little removed from it. I'm like, yeah, go guys, go. It's really neat, and I'm excited, and just wish you the best. And I know you're still going to be on the sidelines, but just know we really, really appreciate everything you've done. And yeah, and thanks for putting up with me.
Oh, Mel, thank you, man. You've been great. We're glad you're at the head of the leadership there, but we miss you at our every meeting as you used to be with us. But yeah, I mean, this has been an outstanding group of people and continues to be that. I'm really excited about our new recruits, the 4 new folks that have joined us recently. So it's great. But thanks for the compliments. I appreciate it. Let's see. Carol, are you still with us? Athens in Motion?
Yes. Yeah, I'm still here. I'm here, Nat. Walking in the woods. Let me add on to the praise and say congratulations on all those things you've done and the contribution, and thanks. And I hope you will be out there at the mayor and commission meetings on other issues when I'm up there in the city hall or the virtual city hall. And while we're on that, I kind of want to emphasize to people the importance of, for me, as going in as a new commissioner. There's an awful lot that I'm learning about all the time, and I thought I knew a little, and I do know a little, but there's awful lot. And when there are issues that need more complex understanding than you can get in a staff report, I urge you all to reach out to me. I know sometimes in Athens in Motion, it can be sometimes frustrating when you see something discussed in City Hall and you're like, oh man, you didn't get that whole story there. This is more complex than that. So I do want to encourage you all to reach out to me as commissioner. And of course, as commissioner, I'll be leading Athens in Motion, and we already voted in Lauren Blaze, who's been our co-chair, will be the new chair, and Teresa Friedlander is going to take over as the co-chair. And I will talk to them about someone being present here for this. We've had a busy year as well because, I'm here and I'm leaving, and as you may know, I don't know if everyone knows, but Hillary Essig is no longer employed. She went on to bigger fields and a different field in Atlanta. We had a lot of, she was wonderful. Right now, we haven't had a bike coordinator since the end of, bike pedestrian coordinator since the end of October, but there are going to be some interviews in January, and we'll be getting someone else on board. So we'll have a crew going forward. We've been spending a lot of time at our meetings reviewing plans for sidewalks and multi-use paths and deciding which one is best. We've probably spent a good bit of the last 2 meetings talking about Riverbend Road. And we will be talking, I think, soon about Barber. And of course, I'm in an interesting position in that these will be coming to me in my new role as commissioner. We've also been talking about a new complete streets policy, an updated policy to really embed that in the government that really focuses on, as a policy, having our roads be not auto-centric, but all-inclusive, which we do a pretty good job of now. I think we're well on that way, but putting it into policy. And the other thing I was thinking about as I was listening here was that I should let you all know about that we've been working with Leisure Services actually on the beginning of organizing an open streets event. And we're actually having a meeting this week with some people from Bike Athens and Envision Athens and community members to do some organization. And the route we're looking at is actually, I believe it's Willow Street between North Avenue and Broad Street. I'd have to get that certain, but we'll be reaching out because it obviously makes sense to include the Greenway on that. And for those of you who aren't aware, an open streets event, they happen in other places, but basically it's a way to sort of celebrate all the physical activities one can be doing in the street way that are not cars. So it's not a music festival, it's not a craft festival, it's a movement festival in some sense. So there's open cycling. We've seen a lot of these things going on in a way informally during COVID in other cities. But you might have some people from a yoga studio doing yoga in place, someplace there being some, soccer exercise going on. Those are all still to come. But that is something that would bring attention, and maybe we'd be able to work sort of in conjunction with some leisure services in the Greenway and Friends of the Greenway and such. So that's all I have for now. I've been busy transitioning, getting all these things, getting into change place, but we'll get someone else on board to stay in touch, and hopefully I'll be in touch in my new role as District 8 Commissioner. Any questions?
Well, thank you, Carol. Really appreciate your being there, and especially in your new position. And we know a lot of good's going to come from that.
Yeah, well, I love the Greenway, so.
Yeah, all right.
Listen, we need money for everything, though, huh?
That's true. I skipped over sustainability, Mike. Sorry about that. Do you have anything to report?
A few things. First, I don't know whether it's congratulations or we'll miss you, or now you really get to retire for a little bit, Nat. It's great work. So a little bit of report from our end. The GOSP grant, the Georgia Outdoor Stewardship Grant, is underway. Alex reported a little bit about the what's going on in Dudley Park with the structures. That's our match portion of the grant. We are working on removing invasive plants. In that area, we're also removing invasive plants on MLK as a follow-up to a GDOT grant. Interestingly enough, the ACOR work group that is going live, we hope, in January. They are targeting Dudley as a learning opportunity. As we develop that group, it's a CCC style get people back to work program that is funded through the prosperity program of Athens-Clarke County, and kind of a response to COVID. It is a joint between multiple departments, including leisure services. Mel's been working really hard on it. Ilka out of economic development, Crystal out of inclusion. And the focus of this group is to create opportunities for learning and doing. So it's both a project-oriented and a career development approach, where we're taking people and helping them get to places they want to be from a career standpoint. We're focused right now, we'll focus on land management with invasive plant removal, and we'll also focus on light construction. So they'll be involved, this group will be involved at Dudley Park with the creation of the removal of the invasive plants, the construction of about 1,000 feet of boardwalks. They're going to add some bird and bat houses onto the site, natural surface trails, and they will do some restoration planting that we hope to start this spring, if I have time to get that off the ground. So quite a bit of work that they'll be doing there in Dudley, and the bird, one of the ideas is building a bat condo. If we have enough savings because of using their work, their labor, then we will also have a second one that gets placed at MLK in that site, where we will have 1,500 to 2,500 bats that are in their own little space, and it will become an event. It has in other communities, and it's pretty cool when you get down there and watch all these bats pour out of the bat house there at the beginning of the evening. It's also great insect control, so it kind of serves a lot of purposes. We're really excited about that. Speaking of Martin Luther King area, that area at North Avenue and MLK was the target for an Audubon-funded grant supported by Sustainability Office. We've been prepping the soil over the summer. We got ready and were able to plant in November. And thank goodness we got rain at exactly the right time. So I'm hoping the plugs will have made it through that kind of droughty November part. We put 2,500 native plants in about a little over a third of an acre. That's right there between the trail and the road. That is going to be a bird and pollinator meadow. So we're real excited about that. It's also a perfect place to do prescribed fire as a management tool, and it's a great location and a great habitat to maintain that way. So you'll see some really exciting stuff. We're going to set things on fire there, but no, hopefully you'll see a lot of exciting stuff happen on that corner over the next few years. So we're real excited about that, and that's my report for now.
All right, thank you, Mike. Those fires always are exciting. Let's see.
We will be burning out at Sandy Creek Nature Center this year for anybody who's interested in it. And because we were rained out last year, it looks like we'll be trying to burn, most of the place down. No, we'll be burning about 40 acres because it's time to burn the hardwoods. And then we missed last year on the west side, so we're trying to incorporate that back, and we'll also hit the east side, which it's its third year for the east side as well. So time to get back to burning, we hope.
All right. Bruno, do you have anything? Bruno or Diane?
I don't know if Bruno's here today, so I guess I'll speak. So this is Diane, and we've been continuing to do our monitoring on a very small scale due to COVID restrictions and what we feel like is actually safe to do. We have finally received funds from mitigation of from GDOT. There was a problem when they were doing some construction out in Oconee County, and there was a mass fish kill of darters on Barber Creek. And so we're looking to receive that money real soon. And I'm not sure it's in the bank, but we're going to use it to purchase new monitoring equipment, possibly some flow monitors. So maybe we can help the sustainability office with some flow measurements. And that's about it. We're also looking for new board members. So if you know anybody who is really pro water advocacy in the community, send them our way, either to Bruno or myself. And I need to thank Nat, because Nat has been so supportive of water trails. And every time I say, Nat, I need a letter of support, it arrives. So I also thank you for everything you've done for the water trails, as well as you, and gonna miss you, but maybe you'll have a chance to get out in the river and do some paddling with me.
That sounds good. I'd love to do that. Thank you, Di.
Take care.
All right. Let's see. I don't think Tom Keene is here right now, but Scott, do you have anything to report?
Not a lot. I would like to thank Karen Porter for having me out to the Tallahassee Forest this past weekend. If you guys haven't been out there, you should definitely go on the next one. It was pretty. It was a very nice day out there, and I was excited to see all of that. I would like to thank this group for voting for the Fix-It stations. We're really excited about that, and when they go in, I'm happy to spread the word about those. As Carol mentioned, we're sort of partnering with ACC and some other groups to sort of put on this Open Streets event in 2021. My intern was working on a list of potential activity partners, people who would be doing different things along the way that people can participate in. So we're looking forward to continuing to work on that. And I just want to say thank you, Nat, for all you've done.
Well,
that's it.
Thank you, Scott. Let's see. Shauna, are you still with us? Yes. Could you maybe talk briefly about Brian Bledsoe's presentation that will be coming up in our next meeting?
Sure thing. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Thank you so much. And first I want to say, Matt, you've been the best chair, and you've accomplished so much, and I'm just happy for you, but sad for us. And but Brian Bledsoe is a fancy professor. He was recruited here from Jake Laugh. He was recruited here to head up the Institute for Resilient Infrastructure Systems, and he is at the College of Engineering. And he's been really working on a partnership with the Corps of Engineers, which he's established, but also has been working on various NSF grants and proposals, often with Jake, to find ways to implement green infrastructure and to study floodplains and to analyze how climate change is going to affect, the built environment and ways in which our, nature-based resources or green infrastructure might be used to mitigate that. So I've been on a small project with him related to some mapping and work he's done in Athens with data from actually AT&T and other sources of data and floodplain data to look at how some of our floodplains and some of the issues, hot spots, may arise if we have more extreme weather events, which we are projected to have. So when we were doing this project, I was like, oh my gosh, you should present these findings to the Greenway Commission. We are actually in the floodplain, and we care a lot about how our natural resources are not only recreational use, but how that they can be preserved for their own sake because of the ecological values and flood control values that they have. So that's, I hope, Nat, is what you were looking for, but he and an engineering, I think, PhD student worked on it, and be about 10 minutes of here's what they learned, here are the findings, and I think y'all will find it informative. And perhaps also, and Jake probably should weigh in here, I think Brian is a really potentially great resource for pilot projects or funding or studying how the built and natural environment work together. And so I know we need money, and sometimes this might be a way to help get some resources to do some cool things eventually. I don't know, Jake, am I speaking out of school when I say that?
I don't think so. I'm, it's something to think about, especially, for the types of grants that he's getting that have a local component to them. The Greenway could definitely be a part of that. And he's also a big supporter of both the Greenway and the Firefly Trail. He's a member of the Firefly Trail. I don't know, gives money to them. I mean, I saw him at one of their fundraisers. Yeah, it's definitely something to think about. He's certainly a great resource and a fellow traveler. That's something, especially after the presentation, we can maybe also think about the sorts of projects that might be possible in the future. That wasn't very coherent, but that's where I am. How's the proposal going, Shauna?
It's going fine. We're in the middle of a big grant proposal, Jake and I. So.
Well, great. Well, looking forward to that presentation. I might have to sneak in just to hear it. Well, folks, that's all on our agenda, and I really appreciate your patience and your time, and for the very kind words that this evening. I'm not going to go very far. I'll be around. You'll still see me, I'm sure. And I'm sure the commissioners will be relieved from not seeing that end, all those letters I keep writing them. Well, thanks, guys, and we'll see you around.
Yeah, remember, Nat, we have your phone number.
Okay.
Don't change your phone.
All right. See you guys.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, everyone.